Hello, welcome to Spotlight. I'm Fran Pellegrino. I'm sitting here with Greg Kritikos, who is an actor, comedian, and writer. He has a great story to tell us, and then we're going to speak about his acting and his comedy. So first, Greg is going to tell us about a recent weight loss.
Yes, well, actually, first of all, thank you very much for having me. And
My pleasure.
March 2nd of 2011, I was actually tipping the scales at 385 pounds.
I know.
Yes.
It's 2011.
Yes, I lost a total of 185 pounds. I went down to 200 pounds.
Wow.
And then I quit smoking cigarettes, so the power of suggestion goes a long way. You know, everybody says if you quit smoking, you're going to gain the weight. And I actually went up to 230, but now I actually dropping down to, I'm close to 218 at the moment.
How quickly did you lose the first weight? I mean, how much weight did you lose, and how quick was it?
Well, first of all, I'm
Before
sober.
you quit smoking?
I quit drinking, so
Drinking.
I'm sober.
So it was the sugar. It was
yes.
the sugar.
Sugar, you know, goes a long way. And
Were you a big eater as well?
Yeah. As a child,
Oh,
I
so
remember always,
both.
you know, trying to fill in that hole, whatever. But yeah.
So you had the weight loss, the weight problem when you were a child as well?
Well, I was always like, you know, a little heavier than other kids, you know, and but it got a little bit, you know, out of hand. Like, you know, the weight started really progressing with all the alcohol intake and all that. So drinking started.
And so unhealthy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
But oh my God, I congratulate you.
Thank
It's
you.
such a wonderful story. So certainly that gives a lot of hope to people out there who are just saying, oh, I have to lose 50 pounds, or, you know, the trauma over 10 with some people. But
Yeah.
what was the turning point? How did you say, this is enough, I'm done?
I was sick and tired of being sick and tired.
You were always tired.
Sick and tired of being
And
sick and tired.
yeah.
Right. It's you know, fell into depression. I was really just, you know, drinking a lot.
Well, that's the cycle. If you're depressed, you're going to eat more usually,
exactly.
and drink.
And drink and eat and sleep. Drink,
Yeah.
eat, sleep, and
Oh
I
my
would
gosh.
come out a lot. And that's exactly what happens. You fall into this cycle, and the next thing you know, the clock don't stop for nobody. And you know,
No.
got to the point that I couldn't even shop clothes anymore. You know, I had to go to the
Special made?
special clothing, and I would wear sweats and you know, just basically just
Whatever you
lost
had
touch
to-
of reality. You know.
Whatever you had to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
It's amazing. It's an amazing story that just one day you said enough is enough. And did you taper off or dead stop? No drinking, no food. I mean, you can't starve yourself, but you know, backed
Right.
off the food as well.
The procedure was I went to detox. I spent 7 days in detox.
7 days only?
Yeah, and then from there I spent 3.5 months of rehabilitation.
Oh, was that away somewhere that you had to
Yeah,
go?
the detox was in East Rockaway, St. John's.
Oh,
And then from there I went to a Phoenix House in Vernon Boulevard in Long Island City. Spent 3.5 months in there.
When you're in those places, do you come out?
No,
you
it was-
stay, there's no coming out?
Yeah, I just stayed in there, you know, and built the whole structure of my life, and just, you know,
Wow.
decided that, you know, that's it, you know, and just stayed away from, you know, certain substances that would totally control my life, you know.
Sure.
Yeah.
Wow, it's amazing, absolutely. Then from there,
Right.
you decide, okay, I'm going to go into the hardest business in the world. I'll be an actor, comedian, a writer.
Yeah, I started writing
Gee.
creative at the age of 7 when I was young. You know, when I first got into the United States, you
Oh,
know, I was born in
so-
Greece.
Oh, right, yeah. How old when you came here from Greece?
I was 7 years old, and you know, I moved into Astoria, which was not too many Greeks in the part where I grew up. I grew up with
Oh,
a lot
no?
of Irish and Italian. I grew up
Oh,
on
yeah, a lot of
30th Avenue
Italians as well.
by St. Joseph's.
Uh-huh.
So I was always like the kid that was couldn't speak English. You know, my mom used to dress me kind of funny. You know, cut my hair. They used to call me Hamburger when I was a kid. They used to, you know.
Burger.
And later on, I started telling Burger King. You know,
The king of burgers.
yeah, the king of burgers. But yeah, and you know, public school, all that, and
Oh, going to school is
Yeah, it was
tough.
kind of tough. Yeah, kids could be cruel sometimes.
Oh, kids are cruel, yes.
And then, you know, my mom got hit by a drunken driver when she was 42 years old. She's an amputee. She lost a leg.
Oh my God! Here, or
In the United States. Actually, they were going to the beach one day, and then that's when the terrible accident. So we're like a Greek family that came to the United States for the American dream.
Yeah.
We had the tragedy.
Jeez, was that kind of what maybe made you sad, and you feel maybe it led to your drinking, or?
Well, you know, a lot of things that we
Yeah,
have in our
things
lives.
happen
that we,
in
you know,
life, that's
I was,
right.
had, you know, communicating was very hard for me at a young kid. You know, I never really learned to express myself. My dad was a hard worker. You know, he owned a local shoe repair shop.
Oh, not a diner.
Nah.
Like you
It's
said,
funny.
everybody says.
Everybody thinks right away if you're Greek, you have a diner. No, he played soccer. He was a professional soccer player in Greece. my
Oh,
father. Yeah. After
look
his
at this
career.
now, the soccer crazy. We didn't win.
Yeah, he used
Oh,
to joke
well.
around all the time about, you know, what is this World Series in baseball? He goes, I don't see Italy, Greece, I don't see Spain. You know, it's only America and Canada, and Canada's never in it either. You know, he joke around about you know,
Yeah.
the World Series in baseball.
So he was a good player.
Yeah, he was a professional player. You know, he was really good. And after his career, you know, he decided to like, you know, come to the United States.
Right.
My sister and I, all four of us.
Oh, and you came and didn't speak the language, so that was tough, by the way, to begin with. And how long were you here before your mother had that horrible accident?
I was 12 years old when my mom lost her.
And you came at 7, so only here 5 years.
Yeah.
Oh, the
I
great
was at a
American
Boy Scout
dream.
trip too. And I came home, and it's funny because I used to hate it. In the morning I'd wake up and she would always have the milk there for me, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and she used to warm it up. Warm milk. Everyone's drinking cold. I'm drinking warm milk. And
Is it a Greek thing?
yeah, it's a
Yeah,
Greek thing.
probably.
Yeah, from a diner.
Yeah.
But yeah, she wasn't home with the milk a couple of days. Then my father sat me down and told me, you know,
Oh, you didn't know right away?
no, they
Oh.
were kind of hiding it from me, you know. I was my sister's 7 years older than I am, so everybody knew except me. I didn't know.
Oh, jeez. Well, it's
Yeah, but
a long road you've come.
yeah, well,
That's for sure.
but you know, it's you know, life is great now. You know, it's a good thing. You know, I always say
It seems to be,
the secret
boy.
to-
I can't get over all the stuff you're doing, and
the secret to my life today is I know what I don't want. You know,
Okay.
a lot of people
Yeah.
say, you know, you always want things. You know, I know what I don't want. And I don't
that's
want
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what you wanted was the acting. How did that hit you? You always wanted that. The writing you said you did when you were 7 or whatever.
Right. I used to isolate a lot, so I used to write a lot. You know.
But the acting came.
Later on, in my early 20s, I
So you were doing this in your early 20s, not after
no,
you
not
lost
not comedy. Not, I liked the industry a little, you know.
Uh-huh.
And it's funny because the first time I actually fell in love with movies, I love movies. I'm a big movie fan, you know. In Greece, my pop, what he'd do is he would take like a sheet and put it like on a doorway, like when you walk into a door. So he would like put tacks, and then he would take candles and like put them in the back of the room. So then you're sitting over there, it's like a screen, you know, like shut off all the lights, and you put like a little puppet show for us. When I was
with
a
the
kid.
shadows.
Yeah, that's what he used to do in Greece. We didn't
know.
have TV back then, you know.
Yeah.
So, you know, when I came to the United States later on, the TV, I used to watch TV, all that. But like I said, getting to my early 20s, I really had a little passion for the movie industry. And I was in Law and Order, I was an extra. And later on,
you
after
started
that,
back then.
later on, I was at Bronxdale also, but I got edited out. They actually filmed Bronxdale on 30th Avenue.
That
in
happens,
the
and you do a
story.
scene over and over and over, and then you go to see it. You tell your friends. They go, I don't know, I sat through the whole movie because.
Yeah, I was, I
and
didn't
they
have-
don't see it.
I didn't have no speaking
Oh, you
lines
knew
anyway.
right away.
Right, but you know, when the movie came out, I was like, I was an extra and all that. And then, you know, just growing, you know, working, all that, and just my drinking got a little out of hand, like I said, you know.
So you got away from it. You
Got
forgot
away
about
from
it
it,
for a
watched
while.
second, and when I came out of rehab, I was okay. Now I, you know, straighten my life out, no more drinking, you know. And a good friend of mine, she said to me one day, she goes, you know, you're really funny. You ever think about doing comedy? And I used to hate that when I was a kid. You know, people would tell me I'm funny. I didn't like it at all. And it turns out she actually got me a gig at New York Comedy Club on a Friday night, the Clayton Fletcher show.
The who show?
Clayton Fletcher.
Oh.
Yeah, he's got a show on Friday nights. And I went there, and I just got on stage and started talking about, you know, my weight loss and the things that I used to eat and all that. And it worked out pretty funny, you know. I liked it, and that was the beginning of my comedy career.
I mean, you did write it. You didn't just do it off the cuff. Like, did you go with this the idea, or you had really the whole jokes written out?
That particular show, I did it off the cuff. I do a lot of improv.
Wow.
Yeah, just, you know, I mean, I have like a set idea of what I'm going to be talking about, but now, later on, obviously, now I'm actually writing my comedy down, and there's a time.
It's better sometimes, though, to have the idea and then go off a little bit, because it's fresher that way, right?
Yes, because you're also feeding onto the joke. In other words, if you're on stage and you say your punchline and people get, like, you know, they start laughing, and at that moment something creative comes in your mind, like you think about it, you add it on to, and it, you know, builds on the...
like conversation?
Exactly.
Yeah. And
I love to improv. You know, improv is, you know, I really just, I find it so, you know, just...
Well, yeah, and that's going to lead to the...
at the
internet, what is on the internet? The
that was a
Scriptless.
show.
But first, let's look at some of your comedy that we have some roll in. If they're ready in the control room, just let us know when they're ready, and we'll see some of your stand-up comedy. And this was where? This
was at the Bing Crosby Theater. It was a showcase. I was part of a whole bunch of comics, Art Krug, Tom McTeague, Nick Dyson was the host, and it was a comedy music spectacular. Good friend of mine, Lou Callos, he actually sang at the end, but it was Bing Crosby Theater, and it was in Spokane, Washington.
Oh, in Washington.
Washington State, Spokane.
So, I don't know if they're ready to roll it, but we're ready when they are. So.
The streets to the stage. Give it up for Greg the Greek. Let's go. All
right, give it up for your host, Nick Tyson. Tyson Tyson, I don't know I still don't know his name. Spokane. How you doing? That's what I'm talking about. All right. Anybody Greek back there? You like the white sauce, eh? Tzatziki? You like the white sauce, huh? All right. Spokane, beautiful, unbelievable, man. You people are beautiful out here, man. God bless, man. I love the Northwest. This is the first time I'm in the Northwest in my life. Unreal. I got off the plane, people are looking at me, and they're smiling. Saying like, hello, how are you? And like, that's not normal in New York. People are miserable in New York. And they're all smiling and looking at me. And I'm like, what's going on? Then I realized pot's legal, man. They're probably stoned. They're probably stoned. I was like...
That was terrific.
Yeah, that was in Spokane. And it's funny because, like, you know, my comedy stage name goes by, on that show, was on Greg the Greek.
Right.
The moment I get on stage, my big opportunity, you know, big show, and the lady kind of heckles me. She goes, hey, do you own a diner?
Like I said before, that's where I got it from. I must admit, I saw that before. So I said, oh, the diner thing.
Right, so that was improv because I kind of, like, you know, at that moment, I just walked to the edge of the stage and I says, hey, you like the white sauce? Everybody can identify with the tzatziki. So
it's true, like you say, it has to be impromptu like that, or, I mean, she'd say that and you'd be all thrown, like if you had a script that you really had to stick to.
Right.
So you went with it, and it turns into...
More people laugh.
Great. Yes,
a lot
exactly.
Of people, so
exactly.
Right.
So you love the comedy? You love doing the comedy?
Oh, I love comedy. I mean, making people laugh is a real joy.
I got to tell you, Greg, I mean, that, to me, that's one of the hardest things in the business.
Yeah. When I first got on in the business...
You have you know instantly if it's working or not. Oh my God, that's scary. You can do a lousy acting show, but nobody kind of will go, boo, really.
What I'm learning is that facial expressions, silence is golden, pausing, you know.
Yeah.
And one thing that really stuck in my head, I heard that 1 minute on stage is an eternity without making people laugh. So, I've been on stages where some comics, you know, they're on stage, and you know, it is what it is.
God.
But
I've seen it, and I die for them because, oh my God,
yeah,
it's the toughest thing. I think it's one of the toughest things in the business.
and it's hard to get heckled too, because I usually heckle myself on stage.
Oh, and the
talk
heckles,
my obesity, right? And talking about my, you know, my pains.
Yeah.
There was a joke where I actually said, yeah, so I lost 185 pounds, and this beautiful woman comes up to me and she says to me, oh my God, Papa, you're so good looking. You got bling bling on. You want to be my sugar daddy? I said, unfortunately, I'm a diabetic.
You're off sugar.
Off sugar. If I ever catch Little Debbie with a sugar products, it's going to be a problem. People don't get that joke, Little Debbie.
Oh, well, it's not too popular maybe anymore. Little Debbie's, I don't know, are they?
It's still out there.
Yeah, they're still there. They still sell them.
Right.
They're all other, you have to use, let's see, what's popular now? Is Entenmann still?
Entenmann's, Twinkies and stuff.
Twinkies. But now you went on to do the web-based TV series, web-based series.
Right. It's airing on Access Television in Mamaroneck in Westchester, and it's called Scriptless. And a good friend of mine, when I left, I was actually living in Spokane for a while. I was out there for 6 months, and I came back to New York, and we hooked up, and he was telling me about this idea that he has, and it's called Scriptless. And it's a dramatic improvisational show. It's all improv, but it's drama, dramatic, you know, drama, a lot of...
Funny, it didn't occur to me when you first said Scriptless.
Right.
When we spoke previously.
Right.
And, oh, really Scriptless, just like your comedy routine.
Exactly. And,
perfect.
You know, when you called me...
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah. Well, you have scripted television series, and then you have your reality series.
Well,
okay.
So to speak.
So
reality.
Scriptless is like, you know, we get the synopsis of the scene. Alan Bendick, the producer, and he's also like the writer, and he'll give us a synopsis of the scene, and then from there we'll just use our own improvisation and, you know, go with it. Which in the beginning, when he called me and he told me about Scriptless, I says, "Do you have a script?" And he goes, "No, it's Scriptless."
Yes, but you think, well, it's still a scripted show. It's just the title, but literal. It's very literal.
Sure.
Scriptless.
Yep. And I think it's a great idea, and we have a great cast. I'm the associate producer on the show also, and I play Salvatore. The boss of bosses, which a lot of people always think I'm Italian, but
I would say yes.
But why is that? Is it a deep voice? I don't understand.
Oh, you think you're typecast, maybe?
Typecast?
I think so.
You think so? I don't know.
A little
I had
Italian.
a gyro in my hand. Would it be different if I said, "Hello, how are you today? I'm Greg the Greek." Is everything okay? You know?
When what did I read somewhere where so many Sicilians are Greek? I go, oh, now I'm Greek.
Yeah,
now I'm Greek too. I'm something else.
In Sicily,
they have everything in Sicily. I know they had everything.
Yeah, a lot of Greeks were in the mountains of Sicily back in the day. You know, they say one race, one face, one race. Una faccia, una razza. You know, the Greeks and Italians very much alike. I grew up with a lot of Italians. Like I said, a lot of Irish friends of mine in Astoria.
But Sicily was invaded by everybody, I think, because it's out there all by itself, and they have all these. So, besides, I'm everything, I suppose.
Yeah.
Sicilian encompasses a lot. Shall we see some of the Scriptless?
Sure. This is a scene where Salvatore goes into the neighborhood and he's looking at my co-star's name is Noah Forrest, and his character's name is Sam. So I don't like the fact that he's running a bar. So that's the scene.
That he's running a bar?
Yeah.
Okay. Again, when control room is ready, we'll see Scriptless.
What's on your mind?
You know exactly what's on my mind.
No, I don't know what's on your mind.
First of all, let me explain something to you. The only reason you're still breathing and you're on this planet is because of your father and your brother. Second of all, whatever you're going to do in this bar, you're going to kick up to me.
Let me tell you something, Sal. When we were kids, on the street corner, I didn't kowtow to you then, and I ain't gonna do it now. So what do you think about that?
I think you've been a little pebble in my shoe for a long time.
I know
And
Pebble
sooner or
no more.
later...
You've been away a long time. I ain't no pebble now. I'm a big boulder. I go rolling down the street and I knock people down. That's what I do, yeah.
Good.
Pebbles.
So why don't you start manning up and start paying money that you owe me? You ever think about that? If you want to be this big shot, why don't you? You know the difference between men and boys are the prices of their toys.
Take a look around. See a
I
place
don't have
like
to take
this?
a look around.
Take a look around. A place like this might make you respectable.
Like how?
Like with the clean money.
Clean money?
Wipe that crooked stank off you.
Crooked stank?
Yeah. You can wash it all you want. It never goes away, Sal. The minute I see you coming, it's like a dark cloud over the whole neighborhood. Here comes Sal.
That's right. That's the way it is.
Hide your lunch money.
That's the way it is. And
That's
you know
how
why?
it started,
and
right?
You know why?
Lunch money.
Because I got
Lunch
little
money.
rats like you running around thinking they could take over. It ain't gonna happen on my watch. Don't you ever forget about it. The only reason you're still breathing is because I know your father. Remember that.
Look at me, Sal. Huh?
What?
You see I'm breathing, right? I'm breathing real good.
That was great.
Yeah,
Wow.
Pebble in
that
my
was
shoe.
really good. And that was all improv.
I was all improv. He actually, after I told him pebble in my shoe, you know, he came up with the line about, yeah, look, I'm a boulder now.
So what did Alan, is it Alan?
Alan
is
Bendich is the producer.
The producer. So is Alan the director as well?
Yes.
So what is, you're going to tell us the secret, what Alan said? Like before that scene, did Alan say, what did he say to
Well,
have
on that
you-
particular scene, Alan said, listen, Greg, he had, Noah and I were standing there. He said, I want you to, you know, walk in and just be a little aggressive. You don't like the fact that, you know, that he's back into the neighborhood. And like, you know, I'm supposed to be like the boss, you know, and I don't get along with him. And Alan's father is also in it. He's 99 years old.
Oh, God
Yeah.
bless him. I happened to see that. You did, I did look
Yes.
at it on the, it's also on
YouTube.
YouTube.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow, he's 99?
Yeah, he's 99 years old.
Aw,
Yeah.
how
Right.
sweet.
Max Bendich, yeah, he's a wonderful man, you know, and you know, we have a great cast, and you know, everybody just. But Alan will sit there with the actors, and he'll tell them exactly what the storyline is. You know, he'll give them a quick synopsis.
Almost like reading them a little book or something,
Exactly,
right?
and the actors, you know, when you're doing the improv, you have to kind of like, you know, feel the other actor. You don't want to just go and step on each other's lines. So you have to like kind of respect the other actor, you know, and just
Oh,
feeding
yeah,
off.
especially
Exactly.
when there is no script.
Right, exactly.
You have to kind of, like in life, we all talk over each other.
Exactly.
Most people do. I find very few people let you finish your sentence. I mean, I'm guilty of it myself, but if you're not, you'll never get a word in edgewise because that's how
Right.
people sit around and chat. I
Well-
mean, it's like you cut each other off. And
We've been
I've
fought.
said that to my nephew because he's with us females a lot. I say, you got to jump in here. You're never going to get a word because he'll go, oh, you know. Any man who's with us, I say that to. You can't be shy about it. You got to say something.
Right.
It's tough. So
Yeah.
with that, you have to really be so sensitive to the other actor. So
And-
you're really listening.
Right. Which another thing that I like to say now that, you know, I'm in, you know, sober for many years, communication is a lot of listening, not only speaking.
Oh,
A
yeah.
lot of people
I'm
have a hard
learning
time
that still.
identifying with communication, and you know, so you have to really pay attention to the actor, you know, and just like, you know, kind of like sense it and acting it, which is reacting to the acting, you know, and
Right.
feed each other, respect each other. You don't want to just crumble all and everybody just keeps saying so. It's exciting. It's something different.
And most of the time, does it work that, you know, you don't have to do it over that often? I mean, how does it flow? It really has a good flow to it most of the time?
Yeah, it does. I
It's
mean,
great.
you know,
It's like conversation.
exactly,
Yeah.
and that's where Alan will, you know, he'll have cut if he feels like, you know, it's not working
Yeah,
out in
just
this
not
way.
like you.
But again, when you're working with professionals, and we have a great cast, you know, we have a lot of people that have been in the industry for a while,
Mm-hmm.
and you know, everybody's just respecting each other, and it's a great thing, you know.
And Alan's dad?
Yeah, Max Bendich.
Is he at every shoot?
Yeah, he actually he plays the father, and Alan is his son, and Noah.
Oh, so Alan is in it as well?
Yes, Alan is in it as
Oh,
well.
I guess I didn't see that
Yeah,
particular
Alan.
clip.
Yeah, he's in it as well. And Noah plays his brother, which is the character's name is Sam. And so I kind of grew up.
Was that Noah who we just saw?
Yes, that was
Noah
Noah
Forrest.
Forrest. Right? So that was, you know, a scene where Noah the son just comes back into their lives, and he's like a little bit of you know, he wants to like, you know, he's a conniver type of guy, you know, and I have where Salvatore's like, he's Max's like after my pop died, you know, he kind of took me in the family, so we're all very close, you know, but I'm more like, you know, the boss type of guy. I'm very, you know.
Oh yeah, I got that from the clip. I think
Yeah, I gave you that
you get
impression,
Captain Sopranos with that clip for sure.
Yeah, but
No,
it's fun.
Great
Yeah.
job.
Yeah, thank you.
You're really doing so great for coming from those situations, and it's wonderful what you've done.
Yeah, and you know, life's a lot easier when you're able. There was a time where I couldn't even walk. You know, I was, you know, carrying a lot of weight for my show. I'm only 5'8", and but anybody could definitely, you know, when you have the willingness, that's the most important thing.
That's the thing.
You know, when
Something
you're
just like when I quit smoking. I was never ready. I did it many times, and then just something snapped in me one day. Not that it's as big a deal as what you did, but it's just something that just has to snap in you. You can't force it, and it worked for you.
Yeah,
Thank
I'm
goodness.
very grateful for that. You know, definitely, and you know. I wake up every morning and I'm so grateful because, you know,
More people should feel like that, and you know, we take everything for granted. Greg, we have about 2 minutes left.
Right.
This has been a great interview, and I want you to quickly give your contact information because we've got really a minute left.
Right. Well, you have to be reached on Facebook under Greg Kritikos or comedian Greg the Greek.
Greg the Greek.
Comedian Greg the Greek.
If they put in Greg the Greek.
Right. If they on Facebook, if you go under comedian Greg the Greek or Greg Kritikos, GREG, all my information is up there. GREG, Greg. Last name is KRITIKOS, and I want to say hello to my son, Athanasios Kritikos.
Athanasio, hi.
Yes, he goes to Hunter College. He's 19 years old, and he's the greatest thing in my life. And, very
Wonderful.
excited. And,
He
thank
must
you
be so happy for you too.
Yes, and I'm, you know,
Well, Greg,
thank you
this
so
is
much.
fantastic.
I had the greatest time.
I
Thank you
feel like
so
I have a new
much.
friend.
Greek
I feel
friend
like
now.
we hit it. Greek. We'll open a diner. I think we will.
Oh my God.